Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, then hi, my name is Lauren. And on my channel, we mostly talk about anything luxury, but we also discuss lifestyle and beauty. So if you're interested in any of these topics, please consider subscribing to my channel and we'll get started with the video. So in today's video, I'm going to be presenting you the 5 best mommy bags that you can buy on the market right now. So I'm actually not a mom, instead I'm a preschool teacher. So that means that I see the school run about every day. I have moms stop by in my classroom to talk about brands, to talk about handbags. So that's how I know the subject a little bit. So if you're curious to see what my choices are, then please keep on watching. So my first choice for a mommy bag would be the Goyard Saint Louis tote bag. I have mine in size PM and in black. This is a bag that we see very frequently at school. So I teach at a private school, so needless to say, there are about 1 million designer bags roaming around, especially during dismissal time and then drop off. So this is something that we see super duper frequently, and I totally agree. I feel like this bag is very practical. First of all, I feel like it's very light. So when you have children and you're like, you know, either carrying them on you or you're holding their hand or something, you don't want to have something that's already super heavy to start with. So I would feel like this is a very good bag to start. It is roomy, but not too roomy, so that's why personally I chose size PM. I also feel like it kind of depends on how many children you have, but there is size GM in case you want to go ahead and buy something like larger if you need more space. But really for like 1 or 2 children, I feel like this would be more than enough. There's a lot of space in the bag. So it's light, there's a lot of space. It is carefree in the sense that the price is very reasonable. I believe that I paid just over $1,700 for this bag. So it's a designer bag. $1,700 for a designer bag means that you are able to replace it more or less often. So maybe, you know, every 2 to 3 years depending on your usage. But if you use it every day with children, you're likely going to need to replace it like every 2 or 3 years. But since the price is pretty good, that's not actually a problem. So that combined with the fact that you can easily clean this bag also really makes it a good option. So in case you are staining the bag with like sunscreen or food stains or anything like that, it's really easy for stains to come off. Just use like a baby wipe. That's what I've done. I've actually made my first spill, one, on this bag, and I recently got it. So I'm not a mom, but definitely spills happen with Lauren, that's for sure. So yeah, I feel like it's particularly convenient for the price, for the roominess, for the fact that it's very light, and then obviously because it's easy to clean. So that in my mind is the perfect mom bag. So next up in terms of mommy bags, we have the Chanel 19 handbag. I have mine in size medium in this beautiful beige color. It's from the 22C collection. And this is also a bag that we see very frequently at school. I would say more so in size small than in size medium. And I believe that the reason behind it, or the reasoning, would be to use this as a crossbody bag. So for me to use this size medium as a crossbody bag, it doesn't work because I'm too tall. I'm 5'11" or 180 centimeters, which is like giraffe height. So that's obviously not the case for most people, but for some reason it does seem like a lot of moms carry size small. Obviously having a crossbody handbag is an amazing option, especially when you have children that are like of school age. So most parents, when they have anywhere from like pre-K to, you know, kindergarten, 1st grade, they will walk their child and they will hold their hand. So having a crossbody bag makes it very easy, especially if you have like 2 children. Anywhere like before pre-K, we usually see the moms carrying the kid, like the 3-year-old. We also have what we call beginners, who are 3. So we see them carrying that little baby like right here. So that makes maybe a little bit less sense for them to have a crossbody bag, but really anywhere after pre-K is an amazing option if you want to hold their hands. It frees your hands to do basically about everything and anything. The thing about having a Chanel 19 handbag is it is a Chanel bag, so it's obviously, you know, you have this prestige of the brand, you have the look, you have, you know, the fact that it's like a nice, soft, plush kind of leather, but you're not paying the price of a flap. So the nice thing about it is that, kind of similarly in the way to the Goyard tote bag, it can be replaced, or it can maybe be replaced a little bit more easily than a flap bag. Obviously, the price is very different from the Goyard tote bag that I showed you earlier, but I still feel like this would be a very good mom bag, especially because the bag already comes with 2 different compartments. So you don't necessarily have to use a bag organizer if you don't want to. I feel like you can kind of get away with not using one. Whereas for the Goyard tote bag, if you're not having a bag organizer with it, like, you're never finding anything. And with children, you kind of need to be able to find your stuff quickly and their stuff quickly. So I think that this is also a very good reason why this bag makes a lot of sense as a mommy bag. Alright, so next up we have a bag that I actually do not have in my collection, so I will be including pictures either here or here. And I'm obviously talking about the Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis. That is a bag that I feel like we see every single centimeter, every single square centimeter at school. It is that frequent. And I believe that the reason for it is, number one, because obviously it's a crossbody bag, so that means you have your hands free. But kind of unlike the Chanel 19 that I was talking about earlier, here the price is much more reasonable. I believe it currently retails, if I'm not mistaken, for something around maybe $2,700. I feel like I'm going to check the price, so if it's not $2,700, I will include it somewhere here on the screen, but I think it's $2,700. So obviously that's a huge price difference with the Chanel 19. So that makes it such that, again, if it's ruined after a couple of years, you can easily replace it. And then the very good thing about this bag, again, unlike the Chanel 19, is you can clean it off very, very easily, which makes it quite carefree. The Chanel 19, obviously on like calfskin or lambskin leather, you are not going to clean off those stains that easily. Even if you get like a dark color like black or whatever and you don't have color transfer, with children there's always spills, so it's a little risky and a little iffy. But I feel like with the Pochette Métis, it's a type of handbag kind of similar to the Goyard tote bag that I mentioned earlier. You can just take a baby wipe and it will come right off, obviously if you catch it early. So that's also a very good thing that this bag has going for itself. I would also mention the many compartments. That is kind of similar to the Chanel 19, but even better, because there's a back pocket, there are similar inside compartments. I believe there's actually one more. So that makes it very, very easy to kind of access your things very quickly, to know where they are without needing a bag organizer. So this is actually a bag that I had purchased and that I returned. And I did a video on the subject of like why I returned this particular bag. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about the reasons why this bag was not for me, then I will go ahead and leave that video in the little information link over here for you to see it. I'm not a mom, but yeah, for me it wasn't working. I felt like first there were quality issues, and then another thing was the closure system. I could never really get used to it. I felt like it wasn't very practical and it was going to get scratched or damaged quickly. So I wasn't super into it. And then additionally, I kind of realized, you know, it has this like gold hardware. Most of my everyday stuff is going to be in white gold, not in yellow gold. But this would definitely be a bag for every day. So that's why I kind of decided to let it go. But it is a bag that I was thinking about, so that's why I had added it to my collection, but then later decided that it wouldn't be for me. Next up, still from Louis Vuitton and still a bag that I do not have, so I will be including pictures on the screen. We have the Louis Vuitton Bum bag. This is quite a popular choice at school, especially with parents of children that are slightly older, that do not need to be carried like on the hand, like on them, that can just be walked in. That seems to be a very, very popular choice, obviously because it is crossbody, or, you know, cross chest maybe, because it actually doesn't cover your entire body, but let's say cross chest, so you're able to move very, very freely. It's from Louis Vuitton, so it's not overly expensive. The material is very, very easy to clean. Now, the one thing that I will say about this bag, I think it is a bag that moms do take to drop off their children, but then later on, if they were to have their child with them for the entire day, I don't think this would be a very feasible choice of handbag because it's small. So obviously you wouldn't be able to fit, you know, I don't know, their water bottle, like some of their toys, some of their, I don't know, tissues, you know, whatever kids need. They need usually a lot of stuff. My classroom is full of a lot of stuff. So I couldn't imagine fitting all that in a Louis Vuitton Bum bag. I think it's just something that they take to drop off their kid at school, because in the time that it takes them to drive to school, maybe like 30 minutes, they're not gonna need that much, and the kid already has a backpack. So that also is something that kind of, you know, plays a role and makes a difference. So if you're able to have your child like wear a backpack to, I don't know, go to the park or go somewhere, go to the zoo or store stuff in your stroller, then that would be a very good option. I think that's the only limitation of this bag, really. Aside from that, it seems like such a good idea, especially because you're free of movement, 100% free, which really isn't the case for any other crossbody bags. Usually crossbody bags, like once you're like leaning forward, the bag will come like almost in your face. It's going to be a little, you know, annoying. Whereas this one will stay in place. It's just covering your chest, so it's not taking up your entire body. It's very, very easy to use this as a mom bag. And lastly, for the last popular bag choice at school, we have the Hermès Evelyne in size TPM, so the smallest size that's available. It is a cutie, and I believe that one of the main reasons why it is this popular is, like we've mentioned for the Louis Vuitton Bum bag, it's something that is teeny tiny, that makes it such that if your kids are carrying a backpack, then you don't actually need to take all that much stuff yourself, so you're free to take a small bag. And I think that a lot of moms kind of take advantage of that at school, because it's not going to be the case on the weekends or, you know, at any other point in time. So I think that's the number one reason. Probably number two, if they have a daughter, would be for the daughter to be able to use the bag later on. Obviously, it's such a cute little bag that I could see any little girl wanting to use this bag. I feel like this is like an all-time favorite for little girls. If you get it in like a cute pastel pink color or anything, I feel like this would be such a hit. So obviously it is an Hermès bag. It's not the price of a Birkin or a Kelly or anything like that. It is, I believe, I'm not gonna make a mistake and say the least expensive, but let's say one of the least expensive handbags from Hermès that you can find. So that makes it perfect for being a mom bag, because if you want to carry an Hermès bag with children, then this is a very, very good option, because again, you're going to be able to replace it fairly soon if it gets damaged. And these bags are very frequently available on the website, so if you want to go ahead and get one, I have seen several of them on the website being available for you to purchase. So it's not like you need to go through like an appointment or having like a wait list or wait time or anything like that. You can just go ahead and go on the website and click and find one. So that's why I feel like it's very, very popular. I do believe it's very, very cute. It's not a bag that I'm interested in, because I feel like for me, this would be way too small, like way too small, because I am super tall. So that's not gonna work for me, but a lot of moms are quite short. They're 5'1", 5'2", 5'3". So that really seems to work for them. It makes their daughters very pleased that they're carrying this bag. So it is one of the most popular choices at my school as well. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was beneficial and helpful for you in case you are looking at acquiring a new mommy bag. Those would be my 5 choices. And if I were to make a personal recommendation, I would recommend the first one, because number 1, it is a bag that I have, and then number 2, it is a bag that I love, that is super duper practical. So if you did enjoy the video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.